Hello and welcome to the North Carolina Transportation Museum.
Okay, 1860 going north. Here we go.
Not a lot of museums have the space to have train rides and have all these exhibits, because this one, it truly is the museum that moves you.
We have cars, trucks, trains, of course. We have an airplane. There's a DC-3 Piedmont Airlines that's being restored. One of the goals of some of our events really, yes, expose everybody to the past, what this place was, what it is now, and then what the future of transportation is, including what career opportunities are out there.
Welcome to Jacob's Rail Expedition. I am your host, Jacob Taylor. On this new series, we'll be traveling in the southeast to see the different railroading sites, from museums to tourist destinations. And today, we are here at the North Carolina Transportation Museum. Specifically, we're at the Bob Julian Roundhouse. Right next to me is the beautiful Graham County Shea steam engine number 1925. Here at the North Carolina Transportation Museum, it's a wonderful place to come and bring your family, your friends, or just yourself and come and experience the different events and other things that they have going on here, from trains, cars, automobiles, trucks, you name it. They have boats, airplanes. There's a wide variety of things to do, a wide variety of exhibits, and we're going to check some of those out. I had the opportunity to sit down with Marcus Newbacher and talk about the fun things to do at the Transportation Museum and learn about its storied history.
My name is Marcus Newbacher. I'm the Director of Administration for the North Carolina Transportation Museum Foundation. We are the nonprofit group that supports the museum, which is a state facility.
My first question is, for a first-time visitor, whether they're from out of town or maybe they live in the area and they wanted to bring their family or just get out for the day, what are some of the things that they can expect on a day-to-day basis?
On a normal operating day, we have 60 acres of space here. There are 11 historic buildings, not all of which are open to the public, but several are. So we'll have exhibits that involve railroads, aviation, automobiles, trucking, and a little bit of boats, but not a lot of boats, just mostly inland transportation. Lots of different artifacts to look at. We do train rides on the weekends as well. So we'll start kind of early in the year. We do an aviation event that's a good educational event for kids. We get a lot of school groups to come out for that. That's called Wind and Wings. We also do a Tractors and Trains Festival, which features vintage tractors, of course, involved with the train ride. We usually would have a steam locomotive running during that time as well. We do Easter Bunny trains. We do the fire truck show in the summer, which is our biggest annual event. We get our daily one-day event, and we typically get about 100 fire trucks and several thousand people here for that. Of course, the big events that bring in most of our visitors are the Day Out with Thomas event, which is done in September and October, and also the Polar Express train ride, which is done in November and December. And probably close to half of our visitors come during those two events every year.
I love how the different equipment are rearranged, and because you guys are connected with Norfolk Southern, like the National Rail Network, you never know quite what you're going to see. So I think that's what I love, especially because I think a lot of times when you think of museums, you kind of think of something that's like on static display, and it's just like you see it once and then you don't need it. You don't really like. There's nothing new to see. But like I feel like with this one, it truly is the museum that moves you. Not a lot of museums have the space to have train rides and have all these exhibits.
So in 1896, Southern Railway established the Spencer Shops Complex halfway between Washington and Atlanta. And in 1905, this building was built. It's about 90,000 square feet, length of 2 football fields, and it's the back shop where locomotives were overhauled. So we have a couple of different structures where locomotives were worked on. One was the roundhouse, which was basically running repairs of steam locomotives as they came in. Similar to if you took your car in for an oil change, a locomotive would come in, quick service, and back out. The back shop is where a locomotive came if it had to be overhauled and have major work done to it. And they would bring locomotives through this building from end to end, where they would completely lift them up off their wheels and work on everything that they needed to completely overhaul the locomotive and back out. What we use the space for is we kind of call it almost visible storage, but it's exhibit space. And you mentioned moving things around and the things that make this museum different. Well, one of the things is we have things that move, which is good, and we do move them around quite a bit, because although this area might be set up for a big exhibit at one point, next weekend it might be set up for a wedding event, or it could be set up for one of our big events, such as a train show, which is coming up.
So we're here at the Transportation Museum at the back shop, and we're going to check out the different booths. They have over 180 booths. So we're going to go check out the booths. We're going to see what they have to sale. The historic Spencer Shops Train Show offers a wide variety of railroading memorabilia, artifacts, and model railroading pieces.
You got your buses working? No trains. About 2 or 3 working, about 2 or 4. Already got 2 or 4 working already. All right. Let's go on that guy.
Outside the back shop, the train show, in conjunction with the Membership Day event, hosts a special train with photo opportunities. Boarding at Barber Junction, passengers hop aboard a historic caboose for a feel of what it was like riding on the back of a freight train.
This was established by the North Carolina legislature as the state's official transportation museum. So it is a state property, but most of the revenue that comes in to run the museum comes from events or ticket sales. So that's all very important to us every year, and we have cars, trucks, trains, of course. We have an airplane. There's a DC-3, Piedmont Airlines DC-3 in here that's being restored. That is one of the first airplanes that Piedmont Airlines flew nearly 75 years ago now. And that's a significant piece of North Carolina history. Piedmont Airlines is based in Winston-Salem. In addition to that, we've had a lot of support from the trucking community, so we have some trucks on display. We have auto exhibits. We recently purchased and added a new building for overhauling and working on the museum's trucking and auto collection. It's just down the road from the museum, right kind of beside it, but it's called the Woods Auto Garage. It's a historic property that was the Woods Garage and Showroom back in Spencer's heyday. But now we now own that building and we use it to overhaul that equipment. So all of our transportation related equipment, whether it's trains, planes, automobiles, trucks, bicycles sometimes, lots of different things, anything that moves, we like to feature that here. So it's very important, even though it's a railroad site, because it is historically a railroad site, we've transformed it to where it's trains and a whole lot more.
Yeah.
So regardless, so we bring people in here a lot that love all different modes of transportation.
A lot of my friends are plane enthusiasts and also train enthusiasts.
Sure.
So I think that really meshes well together.
It crosses over because, you know, like you say, people who like things that move or equipment like that, I think it really does cross over. I've always been big into trains. My dad was a private pilot. He loved airplanes, so that I love that too. My uncle's a truck driver, and my other uncle collected antique vehicles and that. So it's all connected, and you see a lot of people here that just because they might like one of those things, they also enjoy and can appreciate the others. So it's great for everybody. The roundhouse was built in 1924. It's named for Bob Julian, who was a roundhouse foreman here. The turntable, also built in 1924, is 100 feet long. It's a historic landmark through the Society of Mechanical Engineers, so ASME. You'll see a plaque in front of the turntable that identifies it as of its historical significance. Today, the roundhouse continues to be used. Like I said before, it was used for running maintenance of locomotives coming in. Today, we still use the roundhouse for our equipment maintenance. So as we work on our locomotives and rail cars, those go into certain areas of the roundhouse where we have restoration bays that volunteers and some staff work on our equipment. There's also several bays that are just set up for display of locomotives. There's a steam locomotive in there that actually was based out of Spencer, the Southern 542. It's inside there. So you've got part of the building is just display only, another part of it is a working rail shop. In the middle of the roundhouse, we like to say we might be the only roundhouse that has an airplane inside of it, because we have the Wright Flyer replica in there as well. It's a full-size replica of the Wright Flyer, and it was the Wright Flyer replica that was at Kitty Hawk before their current one was down there.
It all begins early in the morning, getting the train ready for the day's runs. Once preparations and the checklists have been completed, the train is ready to set out for the station to board for the first train ride.
Conductor to 1860 brakeman, the train is yours. We're loaded and we're ready to proceed when you are.
Okay, 1860 going north. Here we go.
Brakeman to head in, you've turned the switch.
On special occasions, the museum holds At the Throttle. For adults with a valid driver's license, the museum lets you try your hand at operating an engine. If you're like me and just want to sit up front and watch the view from the cab, then purchase a cab ride ticket at Barber Junction. On select dates in the year, you might just catch the museum operating a steam engine. Catch a ride on a steam-powered caboose train. Listen to the sound of the whistle and feel the thud of the wheels on the rails. Experience being at the throttle of a steam locomotive.
One of the goals of some of our events really, yes, expose everybody to the past, what this place was, what it is now, and then what the future of transportation is, including what career opportunities are out there.
Yeah.
And that's important. That's important to a lot of the sponsors that get involved with us on these events too. For example, American Airlines has been involved with the Wind and Wings event that we do. They will send people out to speak to our kids that come to visit for that aviation event and tell them about aviation careers. The railroad has done the same thing. It's important, I think, right now for people to understand that this business, of course, there's the opportunity in railroads and transportation to get out there and get dirty and work on equipment if that's what you like to do. But there's also the technological side of it, which is becoming very important too. So there's such a variety in career opportunities that are there, and we try to communicate that with our students when they come through, and with just general visitors as they pass through as well.
You could start your career here. I mean, like, you don't even have, you could just be a volunteer and just gain experience.
We are very, very dependent on and appreciate the support of all of our volunteers in all areas. Rail is one of those areas. Of course, that's big in operating the train. Most of the people involved in the operation of the train are volunteers. whether that's being on the crew or working in the shop to restore the equipment. So you have your rail operations volunteers. You might hear the train getting ready to go by now. You have aviation volunteers who are actually today as we talk, they're over there working on the DC-3. We have automotive volunteers that keep up the equipment, whether it's actually doing maintenance on the cars to fix them, or the trucks also, or just keeping them clean, and that's important. It's a big place. There's a lot of the dust that can settle here, so we have somebody that actually comes in and actually details the cars a lot. And then we have what we call interpretive volunteers, who are tour guides, do a lot of different things throughout the site. And a lot of educators will get into that, you know, maybe retired teachers and that like to come out and maybe give tours to students or to anybody. And then we have special event volunteers, because I mentioned those special events, especially the big ones like Thomas and Polar Express. We have a lot of volunteers here for that, and that's how I got involved here, was doing special events. Any kind of, it's 20 some years ago now,
yeah.
so, but 1996 when the Roundhouse opened for the 100th anniversary of the site, that's when I really started getting involved here and helping out with special events as they needed me for different things. And then eventually that led to an opportunity to work here. If they want to do it online, our website is nctransportationmuseum.org. That's nctransportationmuseum.org. There's a button on there for supporting the museum, and you can support in a lot of ways through financial donations. We do take artifacts and things, collections, items, and then we have a membership program, which is really important too. Membership is really something beneficial to visitors that come here a lot. We talk to a lot of families that come out here. If they come more than twice a year, those membership levels you generally pay for themselves. So that's a big supporting opportunity. Plus we have sponsorships, corporate sponsorship opportunities. We have just general donations if you want to give to a specific project. Say your love is aviation and you want to give to that Piedmont Airlines DC-3, or if you want to give to the rail operations or anything that's you know, one of the categories that we give to, you can designate your donation to that, or you can say just use it where it's best needed or most needed here at the museum. So we rely very much on donations and ticket sales, gift shop sales, and all that to keep the museum moving.
Thanks for watching this first installment of Jacob's Rail Expedition. We hope you enjoyed the episode, and we hope you come out and visit and see this pretty girl and see some of the wonderful equipment they have on display and learn some of the deep history and some of the rich history here at the North Carolina Transportation Museum.